Good evening, foolish mortals, and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Dads on the Rocks podcast, fittingly numbered episode 13. I am your host, frightening Freddy Maas. For our very first ever Halloween episode edition, whatever, I've decided to try something a little different. I've got three former guests from the show back from the grave of podcast past. Joining me today are Arian Monster Mash Moore, Poltergeist Paul Hendee, and Lord Torrell, the Terrorizer Smith. Gentlemen, thank you all very much for being here on this fun little experiment of mine. As always, we start with a toast, and we'll go around and have everybody say what they're drinking and get to say hello that way. So, gentlemen, what is your poison this evening? Arian, let's start with you.
Well, before I start telling you about what I'm drinking, I'm going to make sure that you've pressed the record button because that's why I feel like I'm here.
I did.
So it says recording.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. I don't want to do another 2.5 hour show and not have it record. I have Starward whiskey, which is what I had last time.
Yep.
If you guys listened to, I don't know, what was I, number 8? Was I number 8?
8 or 9, I think.
Something. Starward whiskey. I also have this. I'm going to show it to you guys in the camera. I know everybody else can't see it. It's called Howling Gourds. I know you guys have a freaking Trader Joe's around you. This is the best pumpkin beer I've ever drinking in my entire life.
I've had Howling Gourds before. It's very, very good.
I got a 6-pack just because I was like, oh, I like the little pumpkins on it. And then I had one of them, and then we went back to Trader Joe's the next day, and I got a fucking case of it. So,
well, very good. We'll move on. Paul, Mr. Paul Hendee. Hello, good evening.
Hey.
And what are you drinking tonight?
I'm actually, this was kind of short notice, so I didn't get anything special. I just got Jack Daniel's rye, just a giant glass of it with ice. And,
Tried and true. Was that an orange peel that I saw in there? Was
no.
it, or was that just?
No, the water's not great here in North Carolina, but it'll buff.
Oh,
out.
good.
oh, good.
My lord, Torrell Smith, what are you drinking tonight?
As usual, good Jameson from my son. Jameson Irish makes me happy. You never go wrong with that. On the rocks.
Very nice. For myself, I am having some Greenbrier. Sorry, it's Nelson's Greenbrier, Tennessee handmade sour mash whiskey. Very good. A little taste of the South for this Halloween episode. So, gentlemen, to all of you, to everybody out there, cheers.
Cheers.
So if you're out there wondering what exactly are you guys planning to do for the Halloween edition of the Dads on the Rocks podcast, well, I wanted to talk to other dads, or soon to be dads in Paul's case, and ask, what do you guys do as far as your traditions for Halloween? What is something that you lead up to for Halloween, and what do you do on Halloween day or night? But first, before we get ahead of ourselves, I wanted to find out from you guys, what do you guys do in the lead up to Halloween? Whether for your kids or for yourselves, whatever. Arian, your child's very small still. Paul, your child is still being made in the oven. Terrell, your kids are a little bit older. So, Paul, let's start with you. What are your leading up to Halloween traditions?
I mean, for Halloween, we call things differently. So right now it's the baby's in the womb tomb. No, I don't know. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there. No,
Dad jokes.
Yeah, bad dad jokes. Now Amy's really good at making wreaths, so she usually makes a wreath. I usually help her out. What I want to do this year, because my family used to celebrate Halloween a lot harder in upstate New York, and then when we moved to Florida, we kind of like lowered it.
I feel like it would peter out because you don't really get that fall season.
Yeah, like I don't know, trick or treating in the snow, in the dark, with like your breath, I don't know. It was a different experience than when I moved down to Florida and like the sky's purple all the time and like it was nice. But I want to kind of bring it back. So what I'm gonna do this year is go all out. I'm gonna get all like the really nice skeletons and make like a scene on my lawn. Nice. We live on the water too, so I've already seen some of my neighbors make some like pirate ships with like skeletons on there already. So I want to kind of get crazy with that. So that's kind of where we're at.
And when is your I actually on our show, I think we did not spoil whether it's going to be a boy or girl. So when is your child do? Is it going to be prior to
The
Halloween?
spawn will be born. Well, they just changed our date, so it's going to be December 25th. So it's pretty convenient.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just fuck me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's good, man. You can consolidate presents.
No, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have the birthday party December 1st, no matter what. So
Fair enough.
yeah, that's
So you don't know if it's a boy or girl yet?
we do, but Amy wants.
You haven't told anybody?
That's the thing. Amy is deciding who to tell and who not to, which I don't know about you guys, but my memory sucks. So sometimes I forget who knows and who doesn't. And then she also told my 100-year-old grandmother, who is telling everyone, like, we're like, hey, don't tell anybody. And she's like, okay, anyway, so blah, it just kind of gives it up. I'm trying. I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah.
Good call. And we're here as a support group. We're not going to try and bring it out of you. We know your December baby is going to be a Christmas carol.
Right. Best part about having a kid at this age is most of the people I know are mature enough to not try to like wring it out of me. I've only had like one person at work, try to like.
It's all right. You just tell us we're not on the important list. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
You're not 100 years old. I don't know if you're gonna make it.
Very true. Well, I'll be. I guess we'll all be definitely looking out for it then.
Yeah, for sure. Arian, what is your leading up to Halloween tradition?
So, as far as leading up goes, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There is a wreath on my front door that's been there since last Halloween that has skulls and like spider web on it. It hasn't left my front door, so we don't kind of leave Halloween. It's kind of a nightmare before Christmas, a nightmare after Christmas until the next Halloween thing. But I think it keeps away people that like to solicit. Anyway, leading up to, I mean, we watch a lot of movies. Myra likes to watch like the, what's the one with three witches that I always forget?
Hocus
Focus.
Yes, Disney movie stuff, but other than that, I mean, recently, up until recently, I've been more thinking about the whole. You remember when we used to live together? I mean, I lived with Stephanie, and I would always sit there like 2 months before Halloween started and make my costumes.
Yep.
And I haven't done that in so long. And now that I have a child, that I can literally make like a small Warhammer like figurine and then walk it around, it's gonna be so much better.
That's awesome.
So it's gonna go back to that here when he gets a little older and we can walk him around. But leading up to is just kind of decorating the house. I got to go dig through the attic and find all Myra's stuff. Myra has so much stuff she loves Halloween. Now Halloween's I do too. It's our favorite.
Yeah.
One of our favorite. So it's pretty much decorating, getting ready.
I feel like you're in a good position because, like, as you mentioned, you would make your costumes, and like that one when Stephanie was living with you and I mooched off of my girlfriend at the time, and so I was living with you too, and you made a Gears of War costume, and it was fantastic. So I think you're set up pretty well for when Fox gets a little bit older, and because you have that ability with you that you can create a little costume for him and put your own. Well, I mean, it's going to be little for him. He's tiny.
Don't get me wrong, dude. I was the poor private ambulance EMT, and now I've worked my way up the ladder, and I got big boy bucks. I got a whole workshop now in my garage. I'm ready to make some cool shit, and I can't wait till he gets old enough. I want to do it now, but Myra's idea is right. Like, we need to, do family stuff and have like me and her and the boy have like our costumes together so we can take pictures, and that stuff will come on later. So I have a couple years to think about it and get ready for everything.
And for what it's worth, that's a lot of fun too. So you're
oh no, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be very enjoyable for you too.
I get to be like an Olaf or
right.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. Torrell, I'm going to go first because I'd like to end with you on this one. For us, Stephanie is very, very into Halloween and Christmas as well, but she very much so enjoys the festivities and everything about the holidays. So she goes all out, and I actually kind of have to pull the reins a little bit. We have a rule since we've been in the house, or at least a couple of years since I've learned. September 1st, she gets to start decorating inside the house for Halloween, and October 1st is when we can decorate outside the house for Halloween. So, and we kind of do the same thing for Christmas, November 1st and December 1st, inside and outside. But Steph likes to go all out. We have a pumpkin carving night like a couple days before Halloween. We always go to the pumpkin patch and take pictures. She is not into the scary movies, luckily, because neither am I. But we always watch Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town and like the Disney friendly Halloween movies all month of October, like the Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween. We have Freeform on the entire month, even though their selections aren't all that great. Like this year, they have Shrek for like several days, and I don't understand why. Like I can go for like the Aliens. Actually, they put Aliens and The Craft this year, which I'm into. The Craft, fantastic selection by them. So and she's not a big fan of that movie, but I'm like, look, I'm gonna watch Hocus Pocus about 400 times in the next 30 days. Like, can we watch The Craft once? So I think she's gonna permit me that one allowance. But no, she really gets me in the mood, and it really gets our daughter in the mood, and that's a lot of fun for me. So, my Lord Torrell.
Yes, sir.
I don't even have to say anything. Have at it.
I absolutely love Halloween. So we start decorating inside our house in July. That's when my wife starts, because it takes me at least a month of her trying to egg me on to actually start doing stuff. And we like to do a game night. We do 2 game nights for friends. And then we do a birthday party for my daughter, who was born on Halloween, Geneva.
Yep.
And then we also go to do Disney Not So Spooky Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a full gamut of games, but we try our best to make sure our house is a complete spooky mansion dinner party. And we switch it up every single year. So last year we did, it was based upon the theme that a puppet master had killed a bunch of people and turned them into puppets. So we had a full maze going through our house, and you have to walk through the whole thing, and then you finally get to the end, and then that's where like the main dinner would be, and we have a full game night there for everybody, where I do my best and my wife do our best to stay in character, whatever our creation is for that year. So it's always a fun experience. And then of course, for the Not So Spooky, the kids are involved. Last year we did the Addams Family. Was that last year or was it the year before? Actually, we didn't do anything for last year because it was COVID.
Because COVID, yeah.
So it was a year before that. We went as the Addams Family to Disney, and it was amazing. My son was, I can't remember anyone's name now. I was Lurch. She was Morticia.
Gomez? Was he Gomez?
Thank you. My son was Gomez, and my daughter was
Wednesday.
Thank you.
I remember the pictures.
Yes, and it was fantastic. You walk into Disney, and all the people was like, "Addams Family." It was great. It's a fun experience. So yeah, we had a good time.
I have been to Torrell and Jessica's house for the Halloween party, and I kid you not, it is something that I look forward to all year, because it is, number one, a lot of fun. They go all out for like the games, and it's very fun. It's always very inventive. We do dinner there. One year, they on the dining room table there was like a full body splayed out, and we had ribs that year. So like the ribs were in the rib cage, where you'd have to pick from the rib cage to get your ribs. But the entire house, they have a 2-story house, but the entire first floor is 100% decked out. There's no square inch of the house that is not decorated or considered. It is a very fun time. And my favorite part is that Jessica and Torrell stay in character nearly the entire night, up until the very end of the night, I think, when the booze has taken its toll. But they always are phenomenal hosts, and they do it so big. And Stephanie will talk about that night for weeks and months, because it is such a fun time, and you guys do an incredible job. I'm going to move on a little bit. I would like to do the next topic that I would like to talk about, which is Halloween night. What do you guys traditionally do on Halloween night? Not leading up to, but not just Halloween night, but Halloween during the day and at nighttime. If there's anything different that you do during the day and at night. And I know we've like switched up a little bit. Actually, I'll go first. We have done different things. We've gone out to bars and stuff when we were younger, but now with kids, during the day, it's all about Halloween movies all day. And at nighttime, we take the kids around the block. Actually, last year was the first year that we could really actually do that, because the year before that I had to work. Last year we actually got to take the kids, us and the neighbors got to take the kids around. Unfortunately, it started raining, so we just kind of hung out in the garage for a while and just ate candy and drank, and that was about it. But let's go with Arian. Arian, what is your Halloween day and night traditions?
Well, during the day, it's pretty much just get ready. Like I said, old school during the day was try to finish my freaking costume that I've been working on for 5 months. I mean, now this will be the first Halloween with the boy, so it's going to be different. But before, Myra and I would always get something, and it was always go out to the bars. So we'd figure out whatever our costumes were and try to get them to match, and head out to wherever. I always tried to. We always tried to do the costume contest, but we haven't really been in the running since we've been over there.
Right.
One of the big things that I do now is, I mean, everybody wants candy. All little kids want candy. So we've set up our place over here. Across the street from us, there's a big complex. I can only kind of, not country address. What was the other place over there?
Embassy Lakes.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like,
okay.
It's a place where everybody wanted to go because they knew there was good candy and there was hard to get in there. Place across the road does that. And they have an actual concert over here. Like, it's out of control. And there's our whole street is just people park, and there's thousands and thousands of kids. So we were like, well, we'll just set up out front. So I have this huge crate. It's it has to be from the 30s, like a luggage crate. And I have a dry ice machine and everything, and I set it up in the crate, and I don't get the little candies. Dude, when I was a kid, what's the thing you wanted the most? You want the freaking king size candy bars.
Soul bars.
Dude, I go to Costco and I spend like $300 on candy bars, and I get the big candy bars. So when you open this crate, like I'll go out there. Last year, I think I had my Gears costume on or something, and my dad was there, my mom, and no one wants to cross the road to come over because everybody wants to go to this place where everybody's hanging out. But there was a little thing on my tailgate that says, come over here for a special treat. And some kids would come across the road, and you open this chest, and it's got lights in it. We put up lights in it, and we put dry ice in it. So when you open it, the smoke pours out of it and the lights pour out, and there's like big full-size chocolate candy bars. And you see these kids that are like 5 years old, like open it up like, oh, do I get one of those? It's like, dude, no one's coming over here. You could take 3 if you want. Like, we have 1 million, but like, we get ready for that. Like, we try to pull kids away from, I don't know, like what they know they're going to, but like, if they just walk across the street, they get like the biggest candy bar they're going to get during the night. And they come over. And like I said, it's like a little show and everything. And it's just our driveway. I'm sure we'll get better at it over time, but we've kind of been trying to make that like, everybody comes to this area for that show, but they're going to know my house, and they're going to know we need to go to that place before we go over there. So we kind of set up the house and all of that, but
good.
That's our pre-day thing. We don't, no one comes over and bobs for apples or anything like that.
It's a dream of mine to do full bars, and one day in the future, I hope to do that.
Oh, so dude, you just get a Costco thing. You go there and you spend $200, and you can literally have enough for, I don't know, 200 kids.
It's always hit and miss when I at least for my house, like last year, I mean, because of COVID, we had, I don't know, 10 kids, and then the year before that we had like 100. So it's
sure,
like,
and you know what happened? That happened the first year with us, and I bought $200 worth of candy bars, and I had $180 worth of candy bars to eat for the next like 11 months.
Bonus. Paul, you are yet to be a dad, but you are soon coming. And actually, by next Halloween, your son or daughter is going to be roughly around 9 months. Your son or daughter is going to be crawling and very easily able to fit into a costume. Do you plan on doing anything for them during the day, which they're really not going to know of, but do you plan on going trick-or-treating, or what do you do for Halloween day or night, and what do you plan to do?
Oh, so I mean, Amy's going to be in well into her 3rd trimester, so we're already excited to make like a Halloween costume with the bump.
Mm-hmm.
So we're stoked about that, and then next year we're already thinking about the costume for next year. So like we're pretty stoked about this whole kid thing. Seems pretty dope for Halloween stuff. So this is a win-win. No, but I mean, the thing is I move around all the time. So like I don't have like a normal like, oh, this is what I do on Halloween. When I was living in Florida, I would go to like a Halloween party at a friend's house. And that was fun. And then before that in Alabama, um, we were part of this like Huntsville Young Professionals. And they would have this huge Halloween party in a rock quarry.
Oh, nice.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's super dope. And
Sounds
then
amazing.
yeah, it's so cool. And what you do is you meet everyone downtown, and then they bus you. You get on a bus, and then they drive you to this quarry.
Oh.
And then after, like, they have a live band, they have all these breweries. So Huntsville is weird. I know Alabama people think Alabama,
Yeah.
but this place is like MIT, like it's where NASA is. So like everyone's like a weird nerd. Like they're like, oh, I'm a Windows specialist engineer, and you're like, what the fuck? Okay. So, but the thing is like there's all these young people that make like six figures. So what do they like? They like the craft beer, they like the craft distilleries and all like the weird funky stuff.
Sure.
So it's a super awesome place. Can't recommend Huntsville enough, but that's actually where my wife and I realized we lived 1 minute away walking distance. And we were just friends at the time. And, maybe it was just convenient, but some things happened afterwards that were like, hey, we're pretty close. Let's hang out more. But anyways, yeah, so like just moving around all the time, I don't really, I do the bar thing sometime, do the house party thing sometimes. I try to do a Halloween costume contest once in North Carolina where I dressed up as Ace Ventura. And like the like the tutu, the tutu.
Oh,
with,
yes.
like the hair,
With the crazy
and, like,
hair.
pretend. Yeah, and I had a football, and nobody fucking got it. It was
What?
depressing. It was like that's how I knew I was old. It's like all these kids were like, "Oh, are you like a cross-dresser? Like, who is this?" And I was like, "Dude," I did the whole like like the devil hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I did it. And like the only person that got it was like the owner and then the DJ. The DJ was like, dude, this is awesome. And I got up and he's like, this is from Ace Ventura. But all the people clapping were young, so no one clapped. And the guy was like, you're getting you're getting robbed, man. And I'm like, I know. I'm gonna just go home, because then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I'm just in a strange place with nobody that I know in a tutu. This is weird. Like it got very weird very fast.
Where did you acquire the tutu? Because that's like I feel like that's like a weird like thing to like. Okay, am I going to go to Goodwill just to see if they have that? Or
no, it was Party City. That was the easiest thing to find. The hard thing to find was like the shirt, that matches like it was like some weird like short sleeve button down.
Hawaiian
like
shirt.
it was.
Yeah.
I went all in, man, and like nobody knew who I was. So it was that was upsetting. But no, I mean, what we did last year because of COVID, we try to like invent ways of like throwing candy at kids with like I try to make a trebuchet. That worked too well.
ow, my eye.
Yeah. It like launched candy over like the neighbor's house. We're like, all right, that was too much. And then I have a cannon, like a signal cannon, but that destroyed the candy. So we sort of just went with this like PVC pipe thing that we like slid the candy down at people just because we were trying to not
Die.
whatever do it what is it responsibly.
Yeah, socially
but
distance
fun.
responsibly.
Yeah.
We kind of like, I mean, at least for last year and what we're probably gonna do again this year, like we had the table in the driveway and we pre-packaged candy. Like, so we bought a bunch of different kinds and we threw like one of each kind in like a Ziploc bag or something like that, like a cellophane bag, and then wrapped them all up and said, hey, just come and grab one. So it was as clean as could be, where we didn't have that much interaction with people. But last year was a lot different. Like people were a lot more hesitant to be around other people as opposed to where we are now. So I think this year we might be at least getting back to kind of normal, but we're still hesitant.
Pseudo normal, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what's up with the kids and all that.
Yeah.
But our neighborhood is I live at the top of a cul-de-sac. And I guess what our neighborhood's doing this year is we're all going to just set up tables in the cul-de-sac. So what I'm gonna do with like all the skeletons is I'm gonna have them like point, with like maybe like an evil sign, like go down this way for candy.
Like a trunk or treat thing,
Uh,
where everybody used to pull
sort
their
of.
cars up and pop the trunks, kind of deal.
Yeah. So so I live in like a town that's really like the size of Rock Creek, but it's a town. So the town does a trunk or treat, but what we're gonna do is just like I don't know, 12 house neighborhood sort of thing. We're all just gonna sort of set up and
Block
like
party.
ish down in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Block parties are such a fun thing for, I think, especially for the holidays. I think in the South, which is north of, me, Arian, and Torrell.
Yep.
But in the South, I feel like there's such a more community feel that you get to know your neighbors and you can have that sense of community to where you can say, hey, this Halloween, we're all doing something. And nobody's going to be like, oh, no, we're going to a friend's party. They would be like, yes, we're into it. Like we'll do the skeletons. You guys do the witches kind of thing like that.
Like Paul said, it's like I'm going to my friend's party, but we're all going to the same party.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, my friend's party that lives like 2 towns over, which
Everybody
is, I feel
knows
like a
the
thing
party.
that's set in the South.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. My wife and I, we were the youngest people on our block by like 40 years. But we have some. Yeah. No, I love it, guys. Trust
So
me.
you have actual skeletons at I almost felt bad for saying that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go with this joke.
No, dude, they would all laugh at that. Like I have the greatest neighbors, man. But we just got a couple that moved in. They're like 25 and they're from New Jersey, and like they're all like, why is everyone knocking on our door? Like, oh, the neighbors just want to say hi. They're like, this is weird. But kind of what you're saying about the whole South thing, because like my neighbors literally call the cops to set up block parties all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
To block off streets and stuff like that.
Yeah, they block off the street, and like it's fun. Like
In a town that small, I'm sure the cops can have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
oh yeah, we all know the cop by like hey Rudy, because there's only like 3 of them.
Wait, 3 Rudies or 3 cops?
Both. It's like Pokemon; they're all the same.
They're just evolved.
Yeah, they have different hats.
Gotta patrol them all.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Torrell, what is your Halloween day and night traditions?
My Halloween day and night traditions. But before we get to that, I have to find out what was the Egyptian titty joke on Arian. I missed it because it wasn't recorded.
It wasn't.
It was not
But
recorded.
I did listen to it, the portion, the secondary. But I really would like to know the Egyptian titty joke.
So I remember it very well. I'll go get you the thing and show it in the camera if you
By
want.
all means, Arian, take it away.
Okay, hold on. I'll be back.
Arian is.
Was it like a play on the word Cleopatra?
I'll be honest. I legit do not remember. I remember. Nope, nothing. It's all gone.
Okay. There's no memory about that.
There's no memories.
Oh, so good.
Hey,
So good.
I'm trying.
These dad jokes are good. Right
You're
off the
getting-
tongue, you're good.
You're learning. Yes. Let the dad flow through you.
Oh, Jesus. That's how we all got here in the first place.
Oh, that's
Fucking
horrible.
Nasty motherfucker.
God.
I mean that.
Oh, good heavens.
I'll try to not swear.
But until he comes back with the Egyptian titty joke thing, which I'm excited to find out about.
Can I just quote you on that? Can we just stop right there?
We're stop right
Until
there.
he comes back.
Egyptian titty jokes. We'll wait till he comes back. I'm sorry. So for us, Halloween. Oh wait, he's back. Ooh, I got to see what it is.
So we were talking about, the whole bottle situation and getting bottles ready and everything like that. So I was trying to explain to Freddy about this thing we had that would hold food. And it's like a little pyramid looking thing. And then at the top, it's not kind of round, but it's kind of square. So if you would think about hieroglyphics, nothing has rounded edges. Everything looks like a freaking pyramid. So that's where this thing came in. I didn't get to show it to you last time, so I'm happy you get to see it now. This thing, you put food in the bottom of it, but it literally I looked at it and I was trying to explain it to Freddy, and he's like, "Well, what does it look like?" I'm like, "It looks like an Egyptian titty." I don't understand. It's like a pyramid, but it's like kind of. I don't know.
All right, for those
Do you screw that into a light socket? What?
for those of you listening and do not have the pleasure of actually seeing this, it's kind of like a bottle, but it's got layers and it's
No, you put food in it. So you put the if you have formula, you put the different 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever in these things, and you can unscrew them and whatever. But you can obviously.
What's that top part?
The top part is the Egyptian nipple, where you take the food out of because it pours out of it. This comes out of it. See, so you can have 2, 4 in here.
Okay.
4.
Okay, I understand. So it is
this little part.
It's a
magazine.
It's a container.
Yes.
It's a container with like 3 different levels. So if you're going out somewhere, you put formula enough for like a single feed in the bottom one, a single feed in the middle, a single feed for the top. So if you're going out, you're going to be out and about for like 8 to 10 hours. You have several feeds in this thing, and you just add it to bottles of water.
But the little part on the top, you unscrew the top, and you can just put it in the thing and go like this, and it all falls out, and you don't have this whole thing spilling out everywhere. But this is my Egyptian titty. I mean, I don't. I hope it explains it.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either, but I'm glad I know it now.
Does it make sense? Does it at least make?
None of this makes sense.
I don't understand why or how the Egyptian part. I mean, I get the titty part at least, but the Egyptian part, it's so specific.
It looks like a hieroglyphic. It's all like straight lines. There's no curvature to it. It's just like, I'm going to take straight lines and make a boob. You can't do that. It's going to look like a triangle with a rectangle in the bottom.
We've had varying degrees of intoxication here on the Dads on the Rocks podcast. So, whatever. All right. So anyway, Torrell, for the
Yes.
Halloween day and night, what do you guys do?
Sorry, I digress.
We've digressed just a little bit, but we'll get back on track. So, what are your Halloween day and night traditions?
So our Halloween day and nights, once again, so my daughter is born on Halloween. So for us, it is a birthday party. Unfortunately, we don't do the trick-or-treating. So we always go to Disney Springs or we have a family gathering. But as of late, once she turned 3, we've been going to the Not So Spooky every year. However, this will be the first year that we're going to go to Legoland.
Nice.
But we always dress up as a family.
Ooh,
We make a great
fun.
little. See, and this is what I'm excited about. I'm a little upset with Disney because their prices were like extremely over the top this year because of everything of COVID. And I get it. But they like sold out real quick for the Not So Spooky, like before they even released to everyone else. But Disney, if you want to throw me some tickets, I don't mind. I'll take it.
Yeah, we are not
Family
sponsored
four.
by Disney, but holy I want to be.
But yeah, so they sold out of tickets.
Do they do like a dress up thing for Legoland? Do they like do for Halloween, or at least like do they do like a Not So Spooky kind of deal for that?
So they do a dress up a little bit. It's not the same as Disney. Disney has the full on parades and the shows and over the top, the villains, all the Disney villains, which are fantastic. It's great. I remember our first time that we went for Geneva's 3rd birthday. We went as the Princess and the Frog. I went as the Shadow Man. Jessica went as the friend. Geneva went as the princess, and my son went as the frog. Tiana, thank you very much. See, too much alcohol.
And Jameson was the frog?
But it was great. My son Jameson went as the frog. And so, because he was only like 1 year old, so it was perfect. And so, but of course, they put on these great shows. And I guess at the time, no one had been like the Princess and the Frog for so long. So everywhere we went, everyone was corralling us to go meet Tiana and the Shadow Man. It was fantastic. And they had full shows. It was great. So anytime you pick like a costume that not everyone has selected, it's like night and day. Everyone loses their mind. It's really good.
I mean, I feel like you get like 100 plus Elsas and Annas and stuff like that. But like the Tiana, the Shadow Man, which I remember you telling me like how much of a fun experience it was dressing up as those characters that year, because you guys kept getting recognized and people enjoyed that because you didn't see that anywhere. So I feel like that's always what we, at least I do, when it comes to like Halloween costumes, is dressing up as what people don't expect. And I love
Same
doing
thing
that.
with Adam's Family.
Yeah, Adam's Family. Like
I'm looking it up right now. I need to see that.
That's it.
Yeah.
I and that's why I said at the end of the day, that's kind of like I want to go out in my workshop and start in March and start making things. But it is cool to I will. You'll see it on here somewhere. I guarantee you I will. Once he's old enough to walk, he's going to be a little walking Warhammer machine or something.
Speaking of which, because I feel like you might be able to do it. Have you seen the daddy and I think it was daddy and daughter walking AT-AT from Star Wars? It's like a dad walking and in a full AT-AT and the AT-AT, and the kid is in the like pilot seat. Have you ever seen that before?
It's probably on
I'm about to
Reddit,
look it
right?
up.
If I just type in Reddit, please don't be born. Please don't be born. Please don't be born.
But yeah, it's I love it. I love getting the kids dressed up, and it's so nice when you go in like as a full-on family. It just makes so much fun. When we were there as the Addams Family, we got to meet Jack Skellington.
Nice.
And I have to commend Disney. Their Jack Skellington, whoever the person was who was playing him, was just amazing. So he how Jack walks with his hands out, and he's got the long legs.
Yeah, kind of lanky.
And the way that he moves so lanky, and Disney tends to stay in characters. They are so good. When we were the Shadow Man and the whole Tiana thing, we're taking pictures, and so I'm like lingering over Tiana, the actual person who's playing Tiana, and she stayed in character, but I inadvertently scared her, and we have it all on video. And she got scared, but she was so good, she stayed in character. She's like, "Oh my God, Shadow Man, you were so bad," but like she stayed in character, and it just amazes me how these people they stay in character out no matter whatever you do. It's so good. I absolutely
That's
love it.
awesome.
So yeah, it's I truly commend Disney.
When you guys go to Legoland, are you going to go dressed up for Geneva's birthday?
Oh, of course.
Okay, good.
So
I don't want
to
to hear what it is. I would like to be surprised.
Thank you. I don't like to spoil.
Okay.
I like to hold on to.
How am I going to know? How is me and Paul going to figure it out?
We're going to send you guys pictures. We'll send you pictures.
Add each other on
Freddie,
Instagram.
I can't even see the theme of what's going to be on this year, but I promise you, Freddie, it's good.
Okay, good.
It's good.
We've actually, which brings me into my next topic. What are you guys dressing up for this year, and what is your favorite costume that you've ever done? I'm actually still thinking about mine because I didn't do a lot of research into this for myself. Just thinking about you guys. Torrell, are you guys dressing up for something different for Legoland than you are for Halloween? And
Yes.
Again, coming back to the haunted house and everything, I don't want it to be spoiled or anything. So for whatever you're comfortable with giving.
You are so good to me. So we always do two. We always do two costumes. We do our vacation costume, which is the family costume, which we all coordinate together. And then usually me and my wife, when we're doing the parties, we have a coordinated group of something.
Okay.
Like last year, Jessica was a character named Dallas, who is basically off of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lamb. And it was a very scary character for me, if not for anyone else, because she was in a morph suit.
Yep.
And it had like chest hair and everything. Oh, it was so
awesome.
scary. And she had this rubber mask on, latex. Oh, it was horrible. And she'd be trying to get people to rub her fake dildo that she had.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was
the worst thing.
It was
the worst thing.
It was terrifyingly erotic.
I came in at the absolute wrong part of this.
Arian went to go
situation.
potty, and he came back to talking about a.
Yes. However, this year we're going to. I'll tell you what we're going to as Legoland.
Okay.
Because that's not a spoiler. Okay. We're going to go as Coraline. So my daughter will be Coraline.
Nice.
My son will be Wybie. My wife will be Other Mother, and I will be Mr. Babinski.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I've admittedly only seen parts of Coraline. I've never seen the whole thing start to finish. It's always been on my list,
Mhm.
but I don't ever want to just watch it by myself, and it's not something that Stephanie wants to watch. So, you know what? This year I'm going to make it a point to have Stephanie watch Coraline with me. So I'll
I have
It's a
not
cute
seen it
little-
at all. I feel like it's something I
It's a
should
really
watch.
good movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
It is.
kind of freaky. It's like
It is.
Is it the one
Yeah,
with
it's
the
one of those like, oh,
with the-
it's a kid movie.
buttons? for
button eyes. Yeah, that I remember.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna have to watch it then. I've heard a lot of people say stuff about it. So
I don't know if you looked at my wife's Instagram at all, Freddie, but
Every day,
she
why?
posted just recently.
I'm sorry. I thought he was talking to me. I was like, well, oh.
It's okay, Aaron. You can look this time. This time. So she posted like some of the pumpkins, like one of their pumpkin themes. I always carve like a bunch of pumpkins, one for the kids. They both get a pumpkin, and my wife gets a pumpkin that I carve for
Mhm.
them. And her pumpkin for this year is Coraline.
Nice,
So
very nice. Okay.
Do you carve it or do you decorate it? Like
no.
top it with things?
Oh no! So what we do is we go to Michael's and we get those pumpkins that are like the fake pumpkins, and I get a hot knife and I carve them. So we have our pumpkins for each year. So once you carve it,
you
yeah.
do what I do with. I have foam costumes. I make hot knife foam costumes.
Yeah,
but
I like
with
you.
like actual, yeah.
I like
know,
you.
I know about EVA foam.
You're a good man. Good man.
Making friends
Good
here on the
man.
Dads on the Rocks podcast.
There you go. That's got to stick together.
You got to show them pictures from the
The Gears year,
costume I made. The Gears here.
the
Oh,
Gears and the
that's best one
Bioshock
I made
years
so
were good.
far.
Oh, you did Bioshock
Mhm.
too?
Myra and I did Bioshock. I made the
You were splicers.
splicer hook, and Myra was a little sister, and I had the
Wow.
I made like the whole gun. It's actually sitting on my AC unit in my garage, like the atom extraction device. But
Yeah.
I put I broke a couple of those glow sticks and put them in the top of it, and like it was cool. It says Mr. Bubbles on the side of it.
God, I want to go back and play the first Bioshock. All right.
I have to see it.
Torrell, what was your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever done? It could be with an entire family or just yourself, whatever. It's up to you.
I got one. Okay, yes. So this one was not with anyone. So I used to work for Carnival Cruise Line. The costume itself wasn't the most important part of it, but it was part of the fact that it was the first time I actually stayed in character throughout the whole day. So I used to work at Carnival Cruise Line, and I came in dressed up in an insane asylum jacket, and I was this clown with white paint all over my face and contact lenses and crazy hair. So no one at my job actually knew who I was. And so I went around because we had a costume contest. So I literally, and I had chains on, and so I would just walk over to people and start laughing and giggling, and I would give them my chain, and they would just kind of like pull me around, but no one knew who I was throughout the entire day. Until the very end of my shift, they were like, "Oh my God, this is Torrell." And so for me, that was like the best experience as being, and so that like kind of catapulted me into going that far off the deep end.
Like to go full character.
Oh
That's
yeah,
with people. Yeah.
it was great. I mean, little kids were coming up to me because everyone had like their kids come in that day. It was like a family day. Everyone was dressed up in costume, but everyone's like, "Who is this guy?" And they were like, "I don't know. He just keeps walking around.
No one
He's
knows who he
just
is.
there."
Who's
No one
paying
knew
him?
who I
don't
was. It
know.
was hilarious. I was dying inside, but no one knew who I was. It was the best time I've ever had.
Arian, let's go to you next. What are you going to be this year, and what is your favorite that you've ever
Obviously, my favorite's the Gears
been?
here.
Yeah, that's
and
easy.
I put so much time and effort into that, and like I said, I have now the time and effort to put that forward. Like you can look it up on the internet right now. There is a guy that made a little Warhammer thing for his daughter and made one for him. It's the Lost Wolves tribe. Oh, it's friggin' phenomenal, man. Like this kid's like 8, she friggin' loves it. But like you know, I got a couple years before I can do that. Anyway, this year, I think we're gonna try to do Frozen with the little guy. We're trying to find him a Olaf uniform or like an Olaf thing,
but everywhere you look, like it's like you go and look at one from I don't know, Halloween City, and it's like $10, and you're like, yeah, that looks like a weird looking snowman. Or you find one on Etsy and you're like, that one looks awesome. And they're like, yeah, I made this in my free time. It's $700. Like, I might try to do that on my own. But we'll probably do something from Myra watched a lot of Frozen and Frozen 2 when she was pregnant, and let alone a million other movies. There's a couple things we're tossing around, so it's cool having a little kid, like you said, you can kind of, once they grow, you can kind of mold what I'm gonna do with them.
All right, cool.
Or Paul's situation where you can still have like a chest burster thing going on.
Yeah,
like,
Paul, I want to hear about
I
this. I'm kind of curious because we've done it twice now with the pregnant belly for Halloween, but I want to hear what you guys. No, I'll let you pick. What are you guys going to do this year, and what has been your favorite Halloween costume?
Yeah, so for the costume this year, I wanted to go dark and terrifying. I really have always wanted to do this. It's a little known character, or maybe, I don't know, well known, depending on who you are, from Total Recall, called
Watu. Yes. Oh my God, are you doing that with Amy?
Watu, yeah. I wanted to, and one, Amy is younger than I, and she has not seen that movie. And when she does, I already know it's gonna be a no, because she's on the line of like, let's do 101 Dalmatians, and I'm like, I am on a different headspace right now. Like, I really want to do it though, and I was already looking up like people sell like animatronic versions of it, like. I was gonna go hard, and we might just do something like cute, like 101 Dalmatians or something.
That's what I've tried to do, and I've tried to put like, oh, we can do this cool shit. We got these really cool things, and the baby can pop out of my chest, and we can do all this cool stuff. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna be Olaf, and
I guess I'll be a snowman.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I still have a coronavirus pinata that my wife won't let me bust out because she's like, that's in bad taste, and I'm like, this has been awesome, but it's just in my closet. Like I think I could use it in 10 years when this all blows over. But
it blows.
That's how you should do your gender reveal. Just we're ready to beat Corona with new life. Good God.
Oh, jeez. It's not the only thing I was beating. Anyways.
Oh, God. Oh, I love all of you guys. You know what? I'll cheers to that. May our wives never listen to my podcast.
I already gotten in trouble for the last one.
I've gotten in trouble for every single one.
Some damn Egyptian titties, why?
I've explained it now, so everybody can damn near listen to it.
I'm gonna have you send me a picture of it so I can put it up on the Dads on the Rocks podcast and Facebook and stuff, so that they know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And Paul, for your best costume.
Yep. So one is best couples costume. That's when Amy dressed up as a crayon and I dressed up as a Marine covered in melted crayon all over my mouth and fingers. There's a joke that Marines like to eat crayons.
Crayons.
Some people got it. Yeah. Anyways, that was a fun one. And then the only other like really fun thing I did was I got a giant it's a hand costume, and it was in the shocker symbol. And my face was like in the palm, and I had aviators and a skeezy mustache. And it wasn't like that fun, but I rode my motorcycle to the costume party, and that was the fun part, because like if you could imagine the fingers
bend.
yeah, at stoplights there were people just like losing their mind. Like it was so much better on the way to the costume party and like back than it was just at the costume party. Like at the costume party, people were like, "Oh, that's really funny," but like just riding around the street on my motorcycle with it, that was the best part.
I can just picture you driving your motorcycle, and then you come to a stoplight, and there's other cars, and instead of putting a turn signal on, you just grab one of the big fingers and point it to the left. I'm going this way.
It was
then you
I
make
don't know
the
if this will
turn.
work, but like
Yes.
you guys can see
Yes.
that. Yeah.
beautiful.
So
Oh, goodness gracious. For those at home listening, he showed us a picture of
again, that was like
his hand
22
costume.
years old. Very funny idea at the time.
It's still a good idea now. What do you mean at the time?
Okay. For myself this year, we're branching out a little bit. We had every intention of doing, because my daughter runs everything. She of course wants to be Elsa because she has the beautiful golden hair, and she's got several costumes and shoes and everything. She wants to be Elsa, and she's going to be Elsa. So we decided for my son to be Olaf. So we were like looking for costumes and stuff. So we're like, nah, forget this. We're gonna just get a white onesie and paint the dots on him, paint his orange nose a little bit, and then like put little hairs on top of him, and that's easy. But we're gonna go and do Halloween with our neighbors, and the girls all wanted to be the Sanderson sisters, and they all told us that the husbands are going to do other characters from Hocus Pocus. So
who's going to be the zombie? That's like that's
Billy Butcherson. Somebody is scheduled to be him. So we're in good shape. We'll post pictures, I promise. So, but we are not doing something with our kids. My daughter's like, "Oh, I want to be Elsa." I'm like, "Okay, we're going to do something else."
We're gonna do something Elsa.
Exactly, we're going to do something else.
Yeah, there's not enough dad jokes on here. Sorry.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You
I'm
need to be
new to
more.
it. Like I'm just trying. Sorry.
Just watch the Jungle Cruise movie. There's a bunch of dad jokes there. When they introduce The Rock's character, he goes on at least a good 10-minute montage of just dad jokes, and they're all bad.
Oh.
One of the girls goes, "Mommy, make him stop."
And that's the real laughter, right? That's what we get.
Well, no, it's
Make him stop, and that's like a whole chorus.
Make him
What is
stop,
it?
and he holds out a stop sign.
it's funny to us.
Oh God, where were we? Okay, so I did what we're doing this year, and my favorite costume when I decided to shave my head, when I said, you know what, I'm losing my hair, I'm gonna shave my head. So I said, let's go full Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I bought from WWE Network, I bought Austin 316 shirt. I went to Goodwill and bought
Shut up.
cut off jean shorts that were way too short. Holy cow. It actually worked out pretty well. So it was
you did Stone Cold one year.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Why have I never seen this?
I will send you a picture
Please
in
do.
like 20 minutes, unless I pass out.
You can send me in 20 minutes or in 2 days. Please send me a picture.
You got it. I assure you. I do have pictures of them. I kind of wanted to wait until that night to shave my head for Halloween and do Stone Cold, but I ended up doing it a couple months early. So I do have one more question, if you guys would indulge me. I don't mean to be too Billy Loomis here, but what is your favorite scary movie? You can take a second to think about it if you want to.
I've got mine. I've got mine too.
Okay, Arian's got his, Torrell's got his, Paul looks like he's still thinking, and that's okay. You got plenty of time,
I know
Paul.
what mine is.
I'm gonna go first. Midsummer. It's not necessarily a scary movie, it's not a slasher movie, but it is very psychological, and it's something that is very realistic that could happen. And I'm not gonna give away anything about the movie. If you're interested in watching the movie, I highly suggest watching the movie Midsummer.
Was that the one before or after Hereditary?
It is after, and I never saw
But it's
Hereditary.
like-
I know that they're
it's
in the same universe.
Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Is
but
that the Nicolas Cage movie that has to deal with bees?
no,
That's-
not the
okay.
bees.
Okay.
I believe
would
it's the
fuck me
Wicker
up.
Man.
Yes, the
Yes,
Wicker Man. Very
yes.
good, Torrell.
Wicker Man.
Very good.
Ooh.
All right, let's. So Midsummer for me. And if I had to take a second one, Hocus Pocus. Okay, fine. Torrell, let's go with you. Let's go with you. What is your favorite scary movie?
All right. So I'm going to have to give you two. One, because one has completely screwed up my life since I was a little kid.
Mhm.
And it's like one of my first memories. It was Aliens, the second one. So I remember my parents taking me, right?
Great movie.
I remember my parents taking me to go
I'm
see
sorry.
this movie. And everything was fine, but I remember hugging onto my dad and just being terrified. And I remember looking back over his shoulder at one point in time, because when the aliens are coming through the air vents, and you hear the beep,
No, it's not the air vents. It's through the top, and they're like, "Why can we not see them?"
right? And he's like,
It's so
past,
good.
They're past the barriers.
It's
He's
so
past the
good.
door. And I remember as a little kid, I didn't know
They're
what was
in
happening.
here.
He's 10 feet in front of us. It's something's wrong. Hudson's losing his mind. And I remember looking back, and I look over my dad's shoulder being scared while he's hugging me, and I'm like 6 years old. And I look back, and it's the scene where they're going up, and he looks up and he sees all the aliens inside the vent. And that right there, I just black out. I can't remember anything else past that point.
The drop ceiling, where he puts his head up through the drop ceiling,
Yeah.
and he turns his flashlight in the drop ceiling and sees them running. It's my favorite.
Completely shut me down for the rest of my life. Anytime I see aliens now, as much as I
Why
love
have you not
everything about it-
introduced me to this person? That is, it is.
Thank you, Arian.
No, don't get me wrong. I literally shit my pants every time I see that portion of the movie.
Right?
But
It's so scary.
literally it's so good.
It's such a good scene, but to this day, anytime I hear that beeping sound, it just takes me back to being 6 years old, scared, and
So the beeping sound.
all of it.
beeping
sound, it's right there.
The beeping sound is my text message, or
Really?
anybody message me. Everybody at work, they hear it and they think it's like the tones going off at the station. Like, oh, it sounds like a radio feeding back. I'm like, no, it's the aliens noise.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need to know this, or I'm not going to work with you because y'all are a bunch of jerks.
Oh yeah, it is to me the most terrifying
Bing.
sound ever.
Bing. The aliens bing sound absolutely makes me shit my fucking pants.
So
Having on my
That's your text
have you seen
message.
Aliens versus Predator Requiem?
Yes, I've seen
Yes.
all of them.
Me
No,
too.
don't get me
I'm
wrong.
a
I've seen
huge
everything.
Aliens Predator fanatic. So in the scene where they're in Aliens vs. Predator Requiem and the guy's talking to them, they have the aliens, that tracker sound, that beeping sound is pinging in the background
Mhm.
throughout the entire time. It's fantastic. It's just like little nitpick things that they did in there, which is so sweet, and I absolutely love it. But it's still, anytime I hear it,
It's
takes
so
me
sweet.
back.
It gives me trauma.
exactly,
I love
it
it.
literally takes me back to being 6 years old, being scared out of my ass. Anytime I hear it. The other one, as I got older, teenage years, a movie called In the Mouth of Madness. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but In the
No.
Mouth of Madness. It's an older movie.
In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness. And so it's based upon author comes up with this book, and this book is basically like Pandora's box. If you either read the story or you see the movie, it makes you go insane. And
It's
so
like the chicken game.
So it's kind of like The Ring, but insanity instead of dying.
exactly. So the whole story takes place with the guy from Jurassic Park, which I can't remember his name, the main
Wait,
character.
which one? Dr. Alan Grant?
Sam
Dr.
Neill.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
Oh, Paul got it. Oh,
So good. You guys are so good. I
Paul
love it.
wins.
See, this is how you put a bunch of nerds. It's just like you throw a shot in the dark and someone's going to grab it.
Somebody will look at it. And he went to high school at Trent. No.
Charleston Heston University. What is it?
So In the Mouth of Madness, such a great movie. So the entire thing goes through and you find out this book is the cause of everyone going insane. However, the story is based upon everything that's been happening throughout the entire movie. And so at the very beginning of the movie, someone tried to kill Sam Neill because he is the character in the story. It's such a good freaky movie. So many twists and turns. Truly a great movie.
Nice. Okay.
I'm gonna have
Um,
to look this.
I like movies
up
that I
and,
haven't
watch
heard
it.
of. That's my favorite
Yes.
recommendation.
Yes.
Where it's just like someone just throws out a movie from like 30 years ago. I'm like, all right, I'll watch
Yes.
it.
Check it out. Mess you up a little bit.
Does it age well though?
You know, I haven't watched it since. However, some of the things that they use in that movie have now become kind of second nature. You know, the person walking backwards upside down. This was like the
Yep.
first movie they did it in, and like the person's head turned around, and you're just like, oh,
Ooh,
and they're
yeah,
walking
that's good.
backwards upside. Oh, it was messed up
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, like The Grudge. Ooh.
Yeah, this is way
Um,
before Grudge.
because you mentioned Sam Neill, I'm gonna add just a little like post credit scene to mine. Event Horizon. Just a little like it's a movie that I remember watching when I was younger, and
It's a messed up movie.
yeah, I'm never gonna watch that again. Arian just came back from a pee break or a checking on the baby break. I'm not sure, but I added a little tidbit to mine, which was Event Horizon because Torrell mentioned Sam Neill. So
Well, the guy from
Lawrence Fishburne's in it.
Park,
Lawrence Fishburne's in it too.
Lawrence Fishburne is in
So you
it,
got-
and the guy from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so you got Alan Grant and Morpheus in
Yes.
a movie that I'm never going to see again. All right. Arian, what is your favorite scary movie? 1 or 2 if you had to pick.
Every day of the week, I'm gonna pick Aliens. Like my son's middle name is Wayland, from Wayland Yutani.
Yep.
Aliens. Like I grew up with. I think the first Aliens came out in '83. It was a couple years before I was born in '86, so it might no '79. '79. Anyway, Sigourney Weaver, everything. The original Aliens, Aliens 2, Aliens 3. Like I just grew up that. So every day of the week, I can. The only other kind of storyline that I can put in with that I enjoy is Predator, and it's still like it's still the same thing.
Paul, did we do yours yet?
No. I'll do. I guess I'll do 2 as well. Like the most recent one for scary movies was Hereditary. For me, it was just like one of those movies. Like I like slow movies. I like a build up. I like to edge my horror, I guess. And that was one of those movies that it was like, oh, like what's this movie about? Is this even scary? Like what the hell's happening? And then like at the end, I was like about to puke from fear. But we like my wife and I watched it in the movie theaters without like any context, and that's also how I like to watch my movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to know if it's good or bad. Like I don't want to know anything, and we just sort of were like, hey, let's go check a movie out, and like we saw that movie, and at the end of it, we like walked out. We were like, I don't think we're sleeping tonight, and we went and we made coffee. We were like, we can't sleep right now. Like it went from like, what is this movie about, to like, we want to leave the theater. It was awesome.
We want to leave the planet Earth.
Yeah, it went very like 0 to 11 very quick. And then another one I just have to like throw out there because it was like the first. We all grew up, I'm assuming, at the like around the same time, right? Where like a lot of slashers, Freddy Krueger, sort of like.
Yeah, I think
those
we're all
kinds
about
of
the same
movies.
age. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one like the first movie that really blew my mind in that like mixture of like suspense, thriller, horror was The Sixth Sense, and that was just like such a great movie. I have to throw it out there. Just I know it's like a staple and like people might not like it now, but like it was just such a good freaking movie. So I'm just gonna, I gotta throw that out there.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you to all 3 of my guests, Paul, Arian, and Torrell. Thank you all so much for being my inaugural guests on the Halloween edition of the Dads on the Rocks podcast. Traditionally, I like to give my guests the last words on the show, but for today, I think we all have the same sentiment, and I'd like to say from all of us to you,
Happy Halloween.
Halloweeners.
Good night, baby.